Hey everyone, it's question 4, and welcome to the UPL Season 5, actually. So, it's gonna be a little bit different for this season, unlike the last season. Also, just a heads up, I don't have a layout for it, so you might just see it look like battle with my no base cam. But, here's how we're gonna do this from now on. Not from now on. But, I'm your coach for the Los Angeles Cardinals, but we're in the main UPL season. So, hold on, and then my dog's barking. Sorry about that. My dog was going nuts. But, even before we get into the draft analysis. But yeah, this is the draft analysis for Season 5, and because we won the Season 4 Academy one, which is my first draft pick I ever won in, we were promoted immediately into the main division. Which I'm still shocked we actually won that one. And also, my dog decided to join me for this. Okay. So, start off with the draft. We decided to draft Galapagos. Now, he went out there having this as a first pick, which normally is not the best first round pick for it. And I was high on it. I think like 4th or 5th of my pick for it. And I thought I want to get my first pick for Galapagos. The main purpose is that I wanted to use this thing kind of different when it first released. But every time I try to draft this guy, I don't get a chance. Either in doubles, or BGC ruling, or in another singles format. Unfortunately, I just could not get the chance to pick it. So, Galapagos has a lot of things going for it. Unfortunately, the one thing with being a downside is the fact I can't utilize its main strength, which is its terrestrialized form, which that is completely strong for it. But we're going to rely on just his base form, which there's a lot of stuff I could do in his base form. I could bring to the table as 2 singles. Like, this thing can still hit top one of our special attack. This thing can be bulky for it, and it could spin it on its own. So it has a lot of utility for it. So that's enough for our first pick being Galapagos. Our next pick is actually a returning member for quite a bit of the draft, and kind of becoming a star for it. Oops, didn't do this. It's King, aka Raging Bolt. Yeah, we got Raging Bolt back on the team. Normally, he's usually my first pick before he goes away, but thankfully, I got this guy before anyone else got the chance to grab him. You don't even know if he's flipping bulky, he's like a truck. He's just gonna bring the thunder down for anything for it. Plus, being an electric dragon is a very good dude typing for it. He's something you usually have one with Sandstorm with the Academy one before, the Weather Ball for countering, and then other moves for it. We will want weather? Maybe. You'll probably see it in a due time for it. But Kimbo is like a bread and butter for our team. And honestly, really thankful we got King back on the team for this main season. We're gonna need his help for most of it. Our third pick, we couldn't complete the full Scarlet Violet DLC without the first pack. We got our hands on Ogre specifically Heart Flame. So yeah, not only got the turtle, which was, what was it, the dish treasure for everything, but we also got the Teal Mask himself for the DLC. So yeah, we did use Ogre quite a bit. We used, what was it? Wellspring in the UNPL, which kind of worked out, but kind of hard to use in singles. And in the DDL League, we used the Teal Match one, which unfortunately got completely brutalized and couldn't even fully use it. So, Woe is back with a vengeance. Really vengeance with a Heart Flame form. So yeah, being final, similar form of Galapagos, Ogre can't make use of her touch form either, so we just have to rely on what we got from her. But she still hits hard in the ball form, especially with her ability Mold Breaker, which means anything that relates to having immunity to fire, which is Flash Drop in the big one, it would just completely nullify it, making this in a very good offensive sweeper. And that's a good set of moves that we're going to try to utilize what she can do with the partners we have for it. and she can be even a setup user because she has access to spikes. So we're gonna have to set up already, which is not bad. Now, for our fourth pick. Oops, wrong button. We got Core of the Night. We realized that we have Rock's weakness and the fact we could have ability to nullify with Terror Shell, which is basically another form of multi-skill, except Tropicals go into a resistant form. So, I was kind of torn between either Corviknight or go a little cheaper with Reason having a poison type. But at the end of the day, I decided to go on Corviknight for this one. Corviknight is a fantastic Pokemon, being a good Steel type and a Flying type, so one can help with spikes and being a good defogger as well. Not to mention, it also has access to mirror armor, so any debuffs that will try to attract to it, it will just send it right back at it. And plus, I fought there in the Academy when we actually lost to it, so now we have it on our side, which really bodes well for partnering up with Raging Bolt, who's actually weak to Ice and Ground type. So this really functioned well as a duo with Raging Bolt and Corviknight as a good pair. And neutral for, and even take on Flying type Pokemon as well. So, fifth bond. We bring out the Scream and Screen Tail here. So yeah, we got ourselves a Dragon Fairy Steel Core with Screen Tail. This is our second Paradox Pokemon, which is going to be a Scarlet variant for it. Now, his speed is definitely good, but there's another utilization. I am going to spoil about one plan we're going for it. I kind of tried to build a Sunny Day team, but we did not draft a Drought user because, to be honest, the next Pokemon I'm trying to build around with Ogerpon and Raging Bolt and everything, we will just have too much members that will actually be weak to fire and everything. Excuse me, I just had lunch at the time of recording. But we would just have too much fire type Pokemon on our hands, or a lot of Pokemon with the rocks. So I decided to be risky. We're gonna be trying to do manual Sunny Day setup, and Screen Tail will be the manual Sunset just because of base 111 speed. Definitely probably one of the fastest monsters we have, and very good bulk for what she has. Really good support mon, and she gets access to Wish, Stealth Rock. That way she can help out Terrapicos get the Terra Shell back and active. And heal other sweet boots as well. And along getting more boosts with the Sun thanks to photosynthesis, and along with Raging Bolt photosynthesis, and especially Ogerpon with its fire type not being nullified. So that's gonna be a really good member of the team. But there's one more member who will really benefit Screen Tail's help, of why I decided not to draft another fire type, because let me see if it's here. Yep! A 6th member? I know it's an OG member, but we decided to go with Charizard. And he's our first instance of a Terra captain of our team. It's another flyer and another fire type, but this is the main reason why I want to draft the Screen Tail ahead of time. We've started it being as an active boost. Charizard gets the benefit of the doubt with solar power as his ability. And because of how low his points is, he's on a cap. Well, I can actually make use of his Terrestrialized form. So the teleports outside making up the Telecaster is fire, so you can boost his fire type even more. Fairy, just to have a defensive type and take out other dragons and everything, just as an offensive fairy, while Screen Tail still rolls as herself as a good defensive fairy type. And the final one I would say is Ghost. Why Ghost of all things? A little bit spoiler about the rest of the team. We do not have a Ghost type Pokemon on our team naturally. So if we see they have a Rapid Spin or anything for it, Charizard will be rolling himself as a spin blocker. And honestly, a Ghost type Pokemon will hit hard because not a lot of Pokemon will take a Ghost type move, especially a Ghost Terra Blast. I'll Ghost Type too, with the anime with Terra Dark or even the TCG. But Ghost is benefit for it. Like, look at Skeledge, look at Chandelure, look at Ceruledge. those are real good ghost type Pokemon with fire attributes. But the only downside is that, unlike Ogerpon, who doesn't get basically hits everything on even with the fire immunity, Charizard had to think a little bit more because he does have to worry about fire immunity Pokemon, especially Pokemon like Heatran we might run into. And we realized one thing: we don't have a water type for our team or anything else for we could take on this final team, which that was our next team member, and I'm enough returning from the Proton Poke Showdown tournament lobby where we got randomized, who has a draft this time. We got Mr. Quagsire, aka the main mascot of Tom Fox. You try to name a Sokka from Avatar, but who knows? I might have named it Sokka or Tom Fox, because I played Tom Fox for it with his screams. But actually, I got two Scream Pokemon. I have Quagsire and Screamtail, which is kind of fun. Quagsire is actually a bit of an interesting pick for me, being a water ground type, having an electric immunity, which is definitely handy for Charizard and Coin when I sake. Another good partner for those two. That way I talked about Rageable taking electric type moves. But it gets two abilities that I really like for Quagsire. I've been wanting him. He actually gets Unaware, so that way he will stop any set moves from standing up from. So he's great to have. He's a good Stealth Walker and a Toxic Spike user. But not to mention, he also gets Water Absorb. Something our team lacks of for the most part, other than just switching into Raging Bolt naturally. So we have two great water blockers for the most part we can actually fully rely on. And this guy gets access to Recover, which honestly, Recover is really good. So Sabon gets access to Scald, a good ground type, and the fact is that stop immunity and everything. Honestly, fantastic amount to get at this point in time. This is where we're actually get a little bit interested by team for the most part, but let me see what's next. Yeah! With our going to be in DK Jr., which normally I name it after Rillaboom, but this time, I decided to draft Thwackey. Remember I said I get some more support monsters to help Ogerpon for it? Thwackey is this case scenario. Be a second tail character with added Grass Ghost, just in case I want a Ghost type on the team, but also Poison. We have no grounded Poison type Pokemon, so having that would actually benefit for us. So I have been getting rid of Toxic Spike instead of relying on Corviknight for the most part. But Thwackey is still hit hard. His main purpose is definitely set with Grassy Twin, even though he's not the best one, since obviously there's Rillaboom, his fully evolved counterpart. But obviously I couldn't get in time, all because, well, he was got second immediately. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to grab Thwackey, Rillaboom. So our next best scenario is Thwackey, which will help itself, not to mention help Ogerpon, but a lot about bulk as well, especially with Rageable if it wants to have Calm Minds, or especially Terabagos, if it says like Calm Mind or Rock Polish. Because I got some ideas involved with it, and having Gratitude in, and but don't have to worry about Terrestrialize and Terabagos this time, means that we don't have to worry about getting weather or terrain. It's honestly fantastic in our boat. But Thwackey still is going to be very useful on our team. Getting us knockoff, can provide a Grass Glide, along giving access to Ogerpon, giving her access to Grass Glide as well. So yeah, not good two birds of one stone, I guess. This is where I decided to make some transactional trades, because trades for it, but eventually, here's the next one. We're bringing out our mascot of a team. So eventually I did draft the Dragonite, but eventually I decided to drop Dragonite for Lucario. We're bringing in our mascot of a team. I did use the IPL for a bit, and he did work out as a good choice band user, but unfortunately, he did kind of come out on top for it. But that's the amount of time I basically came back into Draft League. But Lucario is back in action, and let me tell you, this thing is a flippin' threat for it. Getting access to Close Combat, Orange Field, Medium Mash, and a lot of stuff going for it. Base 9 speed might not be the fastest, but it's still pretty decent for what it is. But we're going to keep a bunch of priority on our side. We have Thunderclap, Raging Bolt, Grassy Cloud, Ogerpon, and Thwackey. Excuse me. And now we get access to not only Bullet Punch Lucario, but also, the most important part, extreme speed. Having extreme speed on our side is vital for it because that way Lucario will actually come in and actually make cleanup facials at that point. So we got a lot of variety on our side. Given the basic variety of moveset he could get from it, it's absurd to make him one of the good variety Pokemon we could get for it. Especially on a choice band, not a lot of Pokemon would like to face the card head on for it. And then the next one, this is going to help out a lot of our teams, especially if we keep it speed control, but we're going to use a lot of hazards on our side. Especially how we want Season 1, but this time, Season 4 Academy, but this time, we're going to do something a bit different because we got with Bombi, our second favorite type Pokemon, but also a bug type. Probably our fastest, definitely our fastest mon on our team for this draft league. Now, what's absurd is both Bombi and Lucario are both 10 points, and those should be potentially be my final picks. Were insane for me. Again, this low. Now, why would Bombi of all Pokemon? The Bombi did get a buff in this gen of getting Sticky Web of all things, which means one of the fastest Pokemon on our team can set up webs on our opponent's side. Which means most of the opponents may run into one of the heavy boots, but that means they will not get a lot of stat boosts at that point because they have to worry about hazards from the Bombi, Quagsire, Screen Tail, or even Ogre for that matter. Having Stick Whip is good, not to mention being this fast one, it could be a good glass cannon with Moonbuzz or Buckbuzz for it. So yeah, her job is basically to try to set up Stick Whip as soon as possible to the point where we can actually get it for it. When we get it, it's going to have Sweep a lot more easier for it, especially for Charizard who does not get a lot of speed boost advantages. Or in fact, I have to rely on Thunder Wave or Tailwind or something. Okay then. We're coming down to the end of the list and we're going to the final Pokemon of the list for it, which by far, probably the most of our Pokemon that we drafted in the draft season career. A 5-man Pokemon with 1 point remaining is Mudkrow. Mudkrow is just as backup if you want double Sunday users and a Tailwind or a default user. Being a Dark type, that means he can't get Prankster taunted or anything else for it. He can also give us Tailwind and plus another Sunday user. Like you can see, he's definitely a good Sunday user, but it's going to be a little tricky to use since he's not full power back in BGC. And in fact, if we take it on singles, it's going to be a little more harder for it, and could be bulky, especially next to Evilite. But I also admit him as our Tail Captain with giving him Dark, Ghost, and Fairy as his types. He does get access to Foul Play, which is probably one of the strongest he could technically get, but he's mostly going to be used as a utility mon and support for our team. So yeah, that's our team. We got Terrapagos, Raging Ball, Ogre, Heartflame Form, Corviknight, Screentail, Charizard, Quagsire, Thwackey, Lucario, with Bombi, and finally Mudkrow. Let's see how far we can make it this team in this draft season in the main season. I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe for this video. I'll see you guys next time for week 1 of the UNPL main season. So until then, later everyone.